Okay, it is my great pleasure to introduce Vladimir Vanja Grbic, the famous volleyball player, but he's much more than that. So Vanja, please introduce yourself.
I will try to be as short as possible. After a fruitful career where probably I won everything what was possible to win in a volleyball field, I was inducted in 2011 in Hall of Fame in Holyoke in Massachusetts, and I got the life work achievement from European Volleyball Federation. But besides, I'm involved pretty much also in as a global ambassador in activities of kids with intellectual disability, which is Special Olympics. So it's one more very important social responsible duty. However, I renewed my studies here at University of Sport and Physical, Faculty of Sport and Physical Education, where I was graduated in 2014, and the same year I inscribed myself at PhD studies, where I finally concluded in 2011. So unfortunately, I'm the only one live PhD with Olympic gold and Hall of Famer.
We are very proud of you. So Vanja, how many years of experience do you have as an athlete, coach, functionary?
I started in 2009, in 1989, when I was 9 years old. But let's say the first serious steps in volleyball field, I started with 13 years, actually, which is, let's say, more or less adequate year also beside sports science. However, I'm coming from sports family, volleyball family. Also, my brother is Olympic champion and Hall of Famer too. And my father was a former national team player, won the first European bronze medal for former Yugoslavia and was a captain of the national team. So that's why let's say it's tradition and culture in our family. And changing a lot of clubs and destinations. I played in former Yugoslavia, and then I moved to Italy, then to Brazil, Greece, Russia, Turkey, and Japan. So let's say that when I'm a citizen of the world, it's literally like that. I speak 4 languages, like English, as you heard, but I use also 4 more. So let's say I'm around 8 for now.
And do you have experience in training both genders?
Yes. Now, when I finished my career in 2009, I embraced experience of being part of Volleyball Federation of Serbia at the time. And mainly I work as a coach or as a, let's say, a manager of beach volleyball movement, but also school for kids, where I could have very good feedback regarding way of coaching, problems they have, aspirations of the kids regarding why they are applying to volleyball, etc., etc., etc. So beside being sport diplomat or working as a sport worker, I was also directly involved as a coach. So it was like very nice experience where today 85% of the volleyball world, but I believe also in sport, is dedicated to women and only 15 to men.
Do you face stereotypes regarding gender equality or inequality in sport?
Unfortunately, yes. Volleyball is the only sport where in younger categories, boys and girls can play together. And this is something that could be called unified or inclusion, especially because in this way, within collaboration, you understand each other, you create patience, tolerance, etc., 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 and you can build positive aspects of your personality, which is, I believe, in that age very important, especially 13, 14, because from 12 until 16 years, coaches normally taking over authority of our idols before parents. So in this period of time, it's very important for coaches to understand their educational role, not only as a sport, but mostly educational role. Unfortunately, in many countries in the world, where it's not only cultural, there is radical environment and cultural expectancies. I've seen that women were treated not only equal as men, but much worse. But also in high-profile sport coaches, and only coaches, not pedagogists. I've seen non-pedagogic approach in education and work of the kids. What was very important to understand is that working in sports, we are helping kids to reveal their character and know themselves better, because game is the best way to show all aspects of their character, so they can merge inside themselves, face their fears, explore it, and move forward, which means improve, which is very important for self-confidence. So imagine in a country or in an environment where the girls are not treated on equal level. How important is that for them? I mention always the example of Vanuatu, two girls which were playing beach volleyball. They had the qualifications for the Olympics in Rio, if I don't mistaken. And after every training, when they were coming back home, they were beaten by their husbands, because not comprehension of something they were doing, because, oh my God, they are women, they have to stay there. And they managed to qualify to Olympic Games, which is the tiny small island in the Pacific. And that is a huge success, you know. So prejudice and ignorance are the worst enemies of progress. It's not hardship. Even ease of course is worse than hardship, but prejudice and ignorance are the worst thing of all. I believe, because I work with both, the way they are working together, they are collaborating together, it's really fantastic. Of course, there are some particularities in aspects and approach in work with the girls and boys, because boys are more like wolf pack. They have alpha, and you know, very nice pyramid and structure regarding social position of them. So it's very easy. We just give them the bone and they will start to fight about the bone to prove who's better and who's stronger, and such and such. In the girls, it's much more emotional thing. They are trying to prove to alpha how special they are, how they know, how they do, and how they love him. So the process of improvement is much longer. However, if you gain trust, and I'm repeating again, trust of the girls in the field, you will be able to achieve 150%. And this is something that all coaches who work with girls must know. But once they lose this trust, there is no coffee of making friendship again.
Okay, at the end, do you have some practical recommendations for achieving gender equality in sport in general, not only in volleyball?
When you put boys and girls together to play, you just have to watch them. Prejudice and ignorance have done too much so far to stop us to be intelligent and conscious beings. We can learn a lot from each other. In the team I work with kids on my camp, there is nearly equal number of coaches of boys and girls, I mean in genders. I have much more girls on my camp, and I can tell you the quantity of self-confidence they are gaining on the camp, just because we are saying it's okay to make mistake. Your job is to make mistake. And they are on me. The only obligation you have is to give 100% of effort. And that's it. So in this way, you will charge them with courage they face every single day, and critics they feel every single day, struggles they are feeling every single day, to make them become better persons. And this is, at the end, creating better society. Am I right?
Yes, you are completely right. Thank you, Vanja, very much for this beautiful interview. Bye-bye to everyone.